This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at WildEarth.tv.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a beautiful and cloudy sunrise and dawn chorus here at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands. It is a lovely morning, and we're very excited to show you around and see what we can find today. My name is Tessa. I'm going to be your guide on safari here this morning. Behind the camera is Paul, and we are currently sitting very, very close to a little drainage line. There's some beautiful scenery this morning, and we're taking the opportunity to listen. It's quite a warm morning in comparison to some of the other ones we've had recently. It's about 19 degrees Celsius. And it seems like the birds are definitely awake and ready to start their day. The dawn chorus is always something very, very special out here. Myself and Rexon would absolutely love to hear from you today, so if you would like to send in any comments and questions, please get hold of us. We will be waiting to hear from you. You can find us at #WildEarth on Twitter. If you're under the age of 18, pop us an email on kidsquestions@wildearth.tv, or you can register on the WildEarth website. Head over to the channel page and submit your questions there. We would also absolutely love to have you on our town hall tonight with Graham. So please do join us. We will definitely see you there. So my plans for this morning, after we've really spent a bit of time just appreciating the sounds, we're going to be heading to see if we can find Kuchava. Michael, yes, absolutely. We will be visiting Ribbon's den site today to see if she is there. I did go past yesterday, she wasn't there, so if Ribbon is not around, we do not stay at the den site. But I'm definitely going to be checking the den site on my way down to Chitwa this morning. And I'm really hoping for is that on a nice cool morning, Ribbon will come back to the den and she will be out and about relaxing while the cubs are exploring and playing. So I'm going to spend a few more minutes here just listening, because you never know what we'll find. And while I do that, and before I head off towards Ribbon's den site and Chitwa for Kuchava, let's have a look at what our weather's doing this morning.
Good morning, and I would like to welcome everyone joining us for morning ride. It's really interesting from here at Djuma Safari Wild Life. Definitely such a cloudy day in the morning. From myself and as behind the camera, we're looking forward for the morning, It tend to be like we have checked out the Gari Dam, finding very interesting tracks here, which would like later on to come in the area. We will be heading east. We have checked. There was a young male leopard that come from Molowati straight to Gari Dam itself. I'm still going to check Central Road, and if we may lucky to find Kalamba tracks around in the area. I believe Molowati was still around in the area, but the tracks that we have spotted now, I'm not sure yet, because it was right in the midstream of Gari Dam. It might be Molowati or another young male leopard that came into the surrounding. But of course, as a dominant male is in the area, it might be, if it's a young male, maybe Shasha or Nsambo or Maribs. I cannot tell from the tracks at the moment, but I'm looking forward to come back and check towards Galakopan as my second choice of a leopard to follow up in the surrounding. My first priority, it will be Kalamba and the cubs. Of course, I know that last they were Central, Nyala South, Nyala North. And it's in the morning, it's one of the best. Lovely. We have a comment from Charlie. It will be very appreciated, maybe finding a leopard in the early part of the day. It's a good sort of a start. Of course, if it's still in the morning, it's not hot, and the tracks, all of them are fresh. We know that during the night there was no activity of vehicles around in the area. The tracks that you may get to see now, it might lead you in the right direction. Unlike in the course of day, where quite few of vehicles have drive lots of this road, so you might not able to read the tracks right. So now it's a perfect time. Any tracks that we get here, it might lead us to success. And for sure, I would like to see Kalamba. It's now a time. I have Desert behind the camera. He's a lucky boy. I believe with him you'll see lots of leopard around in the area. But we see how it goes. I know that Central East, if we keep heading more east, we might get to see a few tracks of different leopard. Welcome back on the leopard site. We are on Central, heading more to the east. We're looking forward for the morning, of course, to achieve on the tracking of a leopard. I feel more positive if I can find tracks of Kalamba, because I've checked the area yesterday and the tracks were not at. Any tracks that might be leading from this morning, we'll stay on that tracks. It will be the best track to find Kalamba. I'm very keen again to see the cubs, and it will be nice if we might see them. Is how actually they might get so much relaxed from vehicle while they're still young. Unlike what we have seen yesterday, Molowati, it means like while he's still young, he never have much opportunity to see vehicle. He is so skittish. Once the vehicle get close to him, you might see him even try to maneuver through the wood, through the tall grasses, bushes around in the area, and disappear away. So we don't want the lumber cubs to be so much skittish. We have to maybe sometimes track them on foot, sometimes put more effort to find them around in the area, because it's how actually there might be so much, how they can get so much relaxing from the vehicle if you do find them quite often. Welcome back. Here we are almost to our left is where we have left Kalamba and the last tracks of the cubs in Kalamba. We're going to circle the area, find if there's any tracks leading out. As I can really observe on the ground, I can see there was not much activity except the tracks of an elephant that been in the surrounding, that is in the direction of Gari Dam. So most of an elephant in the course of a day look like they were in this surrounding. Listening at the same time while we're driving, seems like I had a sound. I thought maybe it's monkey. It's one of the birds that's really sitting in a high branch of the tree. It could be a roller. Sounds like up. Might really somehow try to stop somewhere at the high ground of this area and listen for the sounds of different species of animal, birds in particular, especially if we're in an area where Kalamba we have last seen with the cubs. She might be still in the area because it's very thick. She might have moved further more west, pretty much in the area where we spotted the Mulowati, because it's in the nature. Kitty, you'll be so much happy if we can locate the cubs. Thank you so much for your comment. Also, we're really looking forward to work the area very well and careful and observe much on the ground if we might find the direction of the cubs. If not, it seems like the cubs, the mother, it might be really put them in the thick area or headed back around the previous den, because it looked like it's a very perfect area for a leopard and the cubs. I've tried to drive 3 days back to check there, following the tracks. The bush itself is just amazing. In the midstream of the drainage land, got a lot of trees, spiky thorns, and all that might cubs prefer, or leopard really prefer to leave the cubs on those areas, because the bush itself, it looks like it gives more protection of the little ones. We can't blame. We will wait until she brings the cubs out of that surrounding, maybe leading the cubs back to the kill. That's very common. And during the night, if Kalamba moves and hunts, if she's more successful, I think she might be concentrating on the small, medium-sized antelope, as far as grey decker, baby impala, and more etc. We have seen her following her, myself and Daza, and she spotted Nyala she was not interested. Very close. Normally leopard will try to hunt anything that might be coming across very close to it. And May realized that she's so clever mother. She likes something that is small and can able to take it up in a tree. With that regard, you can see that how mother really think about future of the little ones, that has to stay away from danger. If she do kill a full-grown impala or nyala, she realized that it might take few days. We'll be linking back to Tessa. We're gonna go to the high ground and try to listen for all species of birds and see how a bamboo is gonna give fruit around Nyala, around Twin Dams up to the east.
I have just arrived at Twin Dams, and I'm doing a very, very similar thing to Rexon. I am sitting and listening because this is where we found Shasha yesterday, and I'm fairly sure it is the exact same bachelor herd of impalas that helped us find him. They are just grazing along the side now, and they are looking very, very relaxed. But these are the impalas that gave the initial alarm calls yesterday. Because it is still nice and early in the morning, the golden light has just started filtering through. It's nice and cool and there is absolutely no wind. So I'm hoping that if there are any predators around, that they will be fairly active still. See, only one of those four is looking more alert. Hello, so Maribs is still following Thandi around. The easiest comparison is to Shasha because they are both young males of a very similar age. Shasha is completely independent. I have not seen him with another leopard. I know that he has bumped into Molwati a few times and things like that, but he hunts on his own, he moves on his own, and he is very, very independent. Where Maribs, yes, he can hunt on his own, and yes, we do see him on his own, but even yesterday and the day before, his tracks were following Thandi's tracks. So he's still kind of tailing behind her. He's not as independent as he should be at this age. And that's not a huge problem. He's not a massive male yet, and maybe he's just waiting until he's a little bit older or feeling a bit more confident. But he certainly does split away from Thandi every now and then, and we do see him on his own every now and then. But most of the time he is in the same area as her. It's kind of on the eastern side of Djuma, over into Torchwood and down into Chitwa. I must be honest though, pretty much every time we have seen him or his tracks recently, he has been very, very close to Thandi. It's not that he completely depends on her for anything because, like I said, he can hunt. But I think it's a combination of a bit of comfort. He knows his mom and so he's comfortable with her, and he knows he can also steal food from her. So for him, it's a very nice package deal at this point. I'm not sure if Thandi would ever get tired of him and kind of keep pushing him off. I'm sure at some point she will. I think at some point she is going to start getting frustrated because remember, she'll also be looking to have more cubs. Although she is an old girl, she might go into another cycle and be looking to have more cubs, and then Maribs will have to move off. But I definitely don't think Shasha or Maribs or Thandi are anywhere close by at the moment. These impalas are so relaxed. We did have a quick look past the den site for Ribbon, and she was not there. And so we have left that area as well, just to give you an update on that front. She might come back a little bit later. She tends to be enjoying visiting in the afternoons at the moment. instead of the mornings, and that's probably because the mornings she's still moving around and feeding, doing other things, and then in the afternoons when it's hot she'll go to the den site and sleep through the heat while the cubs are playing. And that does make a bit more sense. So we will go back and check later on today and just see if she is back. So it is definitely still a nice and peaceful morning. I will make my way up onto the dam wall just now, just to have a look over the other side, but also look for any fresh tracks. Hopefully we found something incredible this morning. So while we sit here and watch these impalas just starting to wander around in the golden light, let's just have a listen for anything else that might be here. We are right on the edge of the drainage line. So I'm just listening to those birds in that drainage line at the moment. Doesn't sound like a full-on alarm call, maybe just a bit of a fright from something. But it is an absolutely beautiful morning, especially here where the drainage lines are thick and there's water. The dawn chorus will always be so loud and so beautiful. You can see the blacksmith lapwing is enjoying the company of the impalas, so I think definitely a good morning to be out and about and see all the little things together.
Welcome back from Tessa Live and joining us here again on Juma Safari Live. We are really taking few roads, searching for Kalamba tracks in order to track this particular leopard and find it that we can broadcast live here at Juma Safari Live. So really at the moment we will be driving from one road to the next, looking for tracks in particular, and we want to see Kalamba tracks around here. Then it's easy for us to stay with the tracks and follow up and see where the tracks taking us to. What happened that of course she's still in the area pretty much this time of a day. A leopard might be back in the den, try to nest the youngster. Possible you might find that she might bring the youngster out from the den where it's thick, because there's quite a lot of water on the grass itself. In most cases you find leopard nesting the youngster in the open. It might be in a road, It might be in an open patch of ground. So pretty much if she's back in the area, because this is the last area where we have seen the tracks headed more to the left along this drainage line. So we might again see her tracks. If she was out leading for hunting, she might cross back these roads again. We have checked the southern road of the drainage line. We're now on the northern bank of the drainage line, trying to check the tracks of a leopard if it doesn't lead out of the area or in the area. More or less is how actually, if you hunt a leopard, is how you're most successful to find. If you check all the roads where the leopard ended into. So sorry, it looked like there was quite a lot of impala that were running across there, very close to the den. But I don't think she might hunt very close to the den, because that might attract hyenas. No joy, no tracks, yeah? Sandra wanted to know if the scent mark of a leopard smell like a popcorn. Indeed, Sandra, they do smell like a popcorn. Like if you drive in the area, suddenly you get that kind of a smell. You need to stop and observe carefully. We might get to see tracks of a leopard in that area, because look at that scrub here. They just jump off from the road, off from the bushes, try to run in the middle of this road. It headed off. Oh, it's right here. Oh, tiny little one going away to the thick bush, disappeared. We'll see. There's something that if a leopard walks around scrub here and all this small francolin, it might be something that a leopard also love to hunt them, because they're so small, easy, and very easy to carry those little species back also to maybe to the den, or take them up in a tree and let the youngster join the mother on the hills. It's really, really, at the moment, if she might be so much active. She will be moving from one area to the next. I might not surprise that she's no longer in the area, because there's no trackers. Mainly you're supposed to see or find the tracks, leading tracks out or in. Appreciate it. Thank you. Lots of viewers this morning crossing finger for us to find the lamba and the cubs. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, and we'll be really putting our effort to find these leopards. We're going in the area where it's downhill in a we'll like to check the area. Possible it might be the area where the leopard will cross this.
Okay. Okay, so I am now moving towards the area of Chitwa. I'm going to go and check the dam. And I also want to go and check all along the airstrip there where we had Kuchava yesterday. We don't know what happened after we left last night. When we left, she was still in the same place. She hadn't moved. So it would be interesting to go and see if there's any signs of drag marks or a carcass or anything like that. To know what happens next in Kuchava's story. So this is definitely one of my favorite places to check in the mornings, with fire breaks and all of the greenery and quite a few large open areas as well. Kitty, a leopard mom, will start teaching her cubs hunting skills from a very young age, because it actually starts as playing. It starts as her allowing them to catch her tail and bite her and play with her, and that's where the first basics come in. But in terms of actual hunting, anywhere from about 6 months, the young leopards will start being very interested in small things and trying to catch them. Normally though, when they get over a year or so, she might actively start bringing something back for them that's alive, or letting them practice on the carcasses, things like that. So it really depends leopard to leopard. It depends how experienced of a mother she is as well, and how adventurous the cubs are. But ultimately, hunting skills actually start with catching moms and being doing things in the grass very, very young. So it really does depend. But anywhere from about 8 months, you can start practicing. Not even one they'll be successful. Not even they'll be successful. But it's all watch and learn. It's a lot of very, very interesting. Up this morning, feeling very fresh and hoping for a little bit misty. So the view that I'm looking at, that we're very nice and green. Whoop, Rusty's moving himself. But as you look over there towards the dam and further into the distance, you can see it's looking a bit misty, a bit murky. It's just a little bit of the temperature change at the moment around the dam. You can imagine there's a bit of moisture in the air. The sun has just started bringing in some heat, and so it's getting a little bit misty. I feel like I'm covered in spider webs this morning, which is a good thing. It also little pathways and roads. And what I'm really hoping for here this morning is to actually go down to the dam. Hopefully there might be some elephants that might come. I can hear the hippos. And just see what other life is around. Maybe I'll finally see the crocodile today. Listen to all of those birds. It really is impressive how many birds are out and about in the last few days. I feel like it's much louder than it has been before. Just a lot more birds coming up. But let me carry on down to the dam and let's see what's happening down there.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at wildearth.tv.
Come back, we're still in the area looking for Talamba tracks. Of course, if you don't find the tracks, we believe we'll find a drag mark, because Talamba, she's very active. When it comes to hunting at the moment, she's one of the active leopard around the surrounding. It might happen she crossed through the drainage line where it's not easy to find the tracks, but we're concentrating more or less in the area where she might be moving in. Just checking here, look like elephant being here. Nearly, I was so much excited. It looked like a drag mark, but you can understand, I can understand and read clearly that trying to scoop the sand and really use the sand as one of the defense from flies, throwing at us back and get rid of the flies, of course. But what we planning, we try to drive all this road network very close to the area. Look, we are driving very close to the drainage lines. Is where Talamba, she might be moving in and out in the surrounding. See something here, movement. A single dwarf mongoose. Only Maredo, a little bit, how long did the cubs do?
How long will they suckle for?
Suckle for? It depends. We normally see cubs stopping. Thank you so much, Dale. I have a question. How long do the cubs will start to suckle from the mother? Indeed, we have seen the cubs in the age of some of the leopards. They will stop suckling the youngster in the age of 7 months. Some of the cubs will cut before that. Some of them even in the age of 8 months. It depends how active is that particular female. But around that, normally you see the cubs will stop doing suckling from the mother. From 7 to 8 is very, very common. I've seen some of the leopards really stop suckling, and the mother, they get independent from the mother in the age of 7 months, 8 months, and let the cubs go opposite direction of the mother. I've seen years ago, there was a female leopard or young leopard that the mother have stopped really nursing the youngster or suckling from the mother around the age of 7 to 8 months, and the mother, she was by that time she was in oestrus mating, and that means the youngster has to go independent from the mother. It's very, very strange, because some of the cubs, if you look at the moment, we have marines stay with the mother in the age of at least over 18 months. I'm not sure how old it might be, but around somewhere they're nearly 2 years at the moment. Maybe March next year, it might be roughly completely 2 years. So it depends with the female, of course. Some of the leopard, once the youngster gets up to 18 months, this is very common. You find a female will let the youngster go its own way. Yes, this is what I was looking for. Kalamba, drag mark. Woohoo! Show that, but If I don't find Kalamba, I'll find a drag mark. This is a drag mark. We've talked about drag mark. A leopard drag mark. Look like Kalamba heading in the direction of the... I don't see the cub's information, but I can see a female leopard. Close enough in the area, it might be Kalamba. But I have to observe the tracks. But you might find that in and out here, Tandy, she also get into the area. But let's follow the drag mark and find what might be in the surrounding.
Good luck, Rexon. That sounds absolutely wonderful for a good start to the morning. We are sitting at Chitwa Dam and just taking in the sounds of all the birds and the hippos with this stunning scenery. Let's just sit and have a listen for a minute or two and just take in the sounds around us. So it definitely seems like the dam is alive this morning. The hippos are kind of moving around still. But most impressively, I think, is definitely the bird calls happening between the red-billed buffalo weavers, the normal weavers, all of the different birds. Really stunning place to spend the morning. I think I could sit here all day and do this. So it definitely seems like Chitwa Dam is the place to be this morning. If you can hear that slapping sound, that is a hippo that has just gone to the bathroom. So we have actually got two hippos that are very close to us here at that little island on the right where the tree is. And it seems like they are enjoying a bit of a relaxing morning this morning. I actually came down here just to have a look if there were any fresh tracks around the dam. We're quite close to where we had Kuchaba last night. But it's so mesmerizing to sit at the dam that you can't really help but spend a bit of time here watching all the movement. So I haven't heard many other sounds other than these normal calls that are happening. A lot of birds are chatting away. And occasionally a hippo will join in. But I'm definitely enjoying, shaking the ears, I'm definitely enjoying just watching as life carries on here. It's one of the best places that you can check is every waterhole in the mornings. Just going around and having a look because you never know what's come down during the night. animals have to drink water, and so it's very, very important to be able to come and see, especially on the dam wall around the edges. And, listening for other signs as well, listening to see if there might be any signs of a predator close by, just like with Shasha yesterday afternoon. But it is an absolutely stunning morning here this morning. Cindy, I think Egyptian geese are naturally just quite noisy birds. And so I think it just so happens to be that they will make quite a noise whenever they're doing anything. They advertise their territories, they advertise their partners, pretty much anything that you can imagine they want it to be known. I think geese in general are quite chatty. So I'm just moving a little bit further along the dam wall, just to change perspective a little bit and see if we can see any of the crocodiles or anything like that. And it is definitely the place to be this morning. A lot of water thickenings around. So what I am actually noticing, other than the water thickenings making a lot of noise and flying there, is that the hippos are incredibly spread out this morning. So you almost can't see them on the surface of the water because it's so beautiful and glossy. But it seems like some of them are on the left, there's one randomly on the right, and then a few sparsely kind of dotted in between. And normally when we come here, the hippos are in pretty tight pods. Hippos are quite family strong. So it is interesting to see them all a bit spread out this morning. I think they heard me talking about them. So one of the most iconic sounds that you'll ever find in the bush is hippos. That call that hippos make when they're in the water it's just one of those sounds. You can't come to the bush and not hear it. And that being said, we're here looking for any signs of predators or elephants, and we're here listening for the same sounds, any alarm calls or things like that. But when you actually get the chance to sit here and take this in, it doesn't really matter if you found the predator or not. This is just, it's so peaceful. It's the clearest sky that we've had in almost a week. Definitely the least wind we've had in a week. It's perfectly still. The only reason the surface of the water is moving is because of the hippos. So imagine, we are wanting to kind of have a look for Kuchava this morning and see what the update is. But imagine being Kuchava on a morning like this morning. She would have hopefully killed something last night. I know she was trying very hard. But on a morning like this morning, if she was successful, she would have needed... Oh, we've got a hippo coming towards us here. She would have needed water. She would have needed to move around a little bit, especially if she's got the cub. And so you can imagine on a morning like this morning, it's so peaceful, but it's already heating up. She probably came down during the night and moved off straight away again. But I'm sure she would also enjoy a scene like this. Anyway, let me stop rambling. Let me send you back over to Rexon on his search for Tlalamba while I head towards the airstrip where we had Kachava.
Welcome back. We managed to follow the tracks here of a drag mark. It looked like it ended in the area where we are, and we can see the tracks from the middle stream of this drainage line coming from one of the area where we are in the bank. It might be the leopard have hidden the kill and going back to fetch the youngster, but it looked like something small. Of course, it could be maybe a baby nyala or something fairly small. So what we need to do, we have to really walk the area, backtrack where the tracks might be coming from. Maybe it's going to lead us exactly where's the kill. But I can see the tracks of a leopard leading out. There's no tracks that comes into the area in the surrounding with the cubs. She might happen kill something small and really hidden somewhere here, or she might happen that after she have killed, it could be something fairly small that she have ate and left the area that you cannot confirm. But what we're gonna do, we'll hang around in the area. We'll able to walk and backtrack the tracks and find exactly where it might be. When we came here, there was still fork-tailed drongo that were not happy in the surrounding. Look like, of course, they've spotted a leopard, but the tracks that we find it here, it tells us the leopard have left in the area like 10-15 minutes ago before we get in the surrounding. So I'm so much positive about this leopard that she's somewhere around in the area. Maybe on our backtrack walking, we might locate the leopard while still feeding. You'll never know. Perfect area for a leopard to hide the kill and also to hide itself with the youngster if it's the lumber. For you to understand, we at Spaghetti Crossing, where the confluence of, it looked like 2-3 drainage line. It's really fascinating. Yes, of course it does. It's something that really is very important. The art, if you have it and you use it, and it's really fascinating. We will be really relying on the backtracking at the moment and able to, and also listening more or less if is any sign of fork-tailed drongo, velvet monkey. You might find that they might help us exactly where is this youngster or where is this female at the moment. But of course, if she move, she might be heading in a direction of a pangolin track or elephant skulls road here on the lower river road called Twin Dams, is where almost the leopard would love to move into the rivers, move into the drainage line. So it's very important. All this road network that are against the rivers is very important to check on those areas. Is where you might find leopard in most of time. She might be walking or resting at the moment in a bank that we cannot tell, but we still have to follow up with this leopard. Don't go far, don't go away. We'll be bringing you live here if you find this leopard, or if it's Tandy, if it's Talamba. At the moment we cannot tell because the weight of the leopard when it drags might confuse the tracks itself. Let's try maybe see to the other side where the tracks leading to. We'll come back more into the area to find what might be killed and where exactly. Welcome back again. We're still here searching for drag mark of a leopard, and try to locate where it might be the kill. At the moment, we'll take the opportunity to check the direction of the tracks where this female leading out here, which direction she's going. You might find that she's still going to fetch the cubs, to bring the cubs into the area. So it might be useful for us if we may check which side this leopard is going. Maybe we might follow the tracks and see where she's ending and coming back and backtrack, walk in the area, find exactly what has been killed. If we don't find her, we might find the kill. No tracks here. Felicia might be walking opposite way. Let me check. There's a water hole here not far. You might find that she was going to drink water. She might be still not far from the point.
Okay, so I have just reached the area where Kuchava was last night, and I am just having a quick scan with my binoculars to see if there are any carcasses in the trees or anything like that. I can hear quite a lot of blacksmith lapwings. I can see them flying over. I'm not sure why there is such a big group together. I think it might be the biggest group I've ever seen and heard together. But what I can see is there are some very relaxed impalas very far in the distance of this clearing. I haven't seen any obvious signs of a kill, although she may have moved even if she got something. So while I'm having a look around here to see what else I can find, any signs, let's head over to Rexon, whose tracking has paid off.
Oh, don't show them, we just surprised them. Hey, what's wrong with your blood, buddy? The leopard whispers.
Okay, so at the moment it seems like all is fairly relaxed here. So if you can see on the far right hand side, if we keep moving slowly, there's quite a big herd of impalas, and they seem to be hearing or smelling something. They're looking quite alert, especially the two closest to the left. You can see that they are standing and staring. It's quite a large herd, very possibly the exact same herd I had here last night with Kuchava. They definitely seem to be staring. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they can possibly still smell her from last night. It very well could be. But other than that, it's quite peaceful here. So what I've been looking for is I've been scanning the trees to look for any hanging signs of a carcass. I've been scouring the ground for hyenas, things like that that may have been following her around if she has killed something. But I think what probably happened, she let them get a little bit far away last night. She was very, very close. She had a great opportunity, and I think she let them get a little bit too far. So I'm not sure if she would have gotten anything. But very possibly she may have settled for a scrub hare or maybe an impala lamb if she was lucky. And I think she's moved from the area because it is so open, and she's got a 6-7 month old cub, or 6.5 months. I think that she moved to an area where the cub can be a little bit more hidden. So she would have gone to hide the carcass somewhere, and then she will have gone to fetch the cub. I haven't seen any tracks of her coming back towards us, so I think she moved in the opposite direction. That makes the most sense because there's a drainage line on the other side, and I think she's moved towards that. I am still going to spend a little bit of time here in this clearing. That it is obviously absolutely beautiful, but also just worth sticking around for a few more minutes and making sure of what is what before we leave. While I stay here listening and looking, let's head back over to Wrexham.
Welcome back from Tessa looking for Kuchava. We have managed to track and find Tandy, the drug mark that we spotted earlier on. Tandy, she drug and looked like something small. We didn't manage to see what she has killed in the area. We found or located Tandy just a little bit south in the area where she went, and now she was just coming here for water. She's drank the water and lying down. It's in the nature of a leopard once they fall, and Tandy, just because it's one of the old leopard, very slow when it comes to movement. And I was so amazing how actually Tandy, more or less, she's always in the area of Kalamba. Tandy was seen a few days back heading down in the den where Tandy is having youngster, but I don't think Tandy is going to really harm the youngster, and I don't think she will be competing with Kalamba at the moment. She's such an old leopard, and knowing that this is her area before, unless if the cubs interfere a lot on her space, maybe it might be something, but I doubt at the moment. If Kalamba realizes Tandy, she's danger in the surrounding, she might by this time already have pushed her mother further more to the east, but it looks like they're moving in and out in the same area. That gives guarantee if Tandy again, if she might be on Ustris, what will be the male mate? It will be Mulowati in the area, because Mulowati, of course, have fathered quite few youngsters. If you look at the marriage fathered by Mulowati, is still more dominant, and Tandy feel more secure in this area because it's the area of Kalamba. The reason behind that, if Kalamba and Tandy are not related, in most cases, Kalamba cannot able, Tandy cannot able even to go across the area where the den is, the mother will be very much aggressive and hunt that particular leopard that been in that surrounding and fight with it and move off. It's in the nature of male, even if Tandy can go to the den. A male will never ever fight Tandy off. A male will be always accept the female. Same with each and every species that are territorial. You would never see a leopard fight, a male leopard fight a new female in the area. Would like to mate with that particular area. If it's a leopard, if it's of course, a lion would do that. If it's a hyena, if it's a hippo, would like to do that. It would never fight off the female due because it's in the space. They welcome the female and mate. The only species that are slightly different, it's a hyena, because you know that hyena female are the one that really they are dominant. Male are more submissive to the female hyena. If a female hyena gets into a clan that doesn't belong to it might be a trouble, because the female that are in charge of the territorial, they will push that particular female because they compete quite a lot. Even if a male will accept that particular, remember, male is more submissive from the female, got nothing to say when it comes to territorial. So a female is playing a lead in quite most of the time. So lions, leopard, hippo, and more, etc., they will really accept the female all the time into the space. This leopard shows quite a lot. Also, this leopard show a lot general behavior of Tandy. She is very old at the moment.
That makes a lot of sense, Rexon. Getting old, taking naps. Sounds like a beautiful way to spend the morning. So I am actually looking, those two bushes that you can see, this is exactly where Kuchava was last night. She was hiding in the thickets between those bushes. And I'm just thinking back to what an incredible sighting it was, and to be able to experience leopard behavior like that, and especially on my first time meeting her, I don't think I'll have an experience like that easily again. It's incredible to think that leopards like Kuchava and Tandy and Tlalamba, their lives are literally just being the most adaptable of the cats, of the predators. And they really, really are so well adapted. An environment like this, in daylight, it looks very different to what it did last night. But if you have a look at it, it's mostly open. There's one or two bushes, quite a few tall trees, but you can't hide behind a tall tree forever. So for a leopard to be able to cover this distance was really, really impressive. I'm still kind of just taking in the fact that all of that went down here last night. You would never say, being here this morning, that all of that went down here last night. There was so much tension. It's just crazy that it's so peaceful, as though nothing at all happened. The impalas are back here, and the world is back to relaxed again.
Welcome back to Tandy Life. We're still here with this leopard lying down at the moment, especially after a meal. A leopard will do lie down in most cases. That's the reason you find that all cats, if it's too hot, mainly they're very lazy. As I was speaking, she might understand this language that I'm not lazy. I can get up and show off. So it looked like Tandy, of course, she will be so old, as I was mentioning earlier on. In most cases, when the leopard get old, it might be killed by other leopard. I've seen before with Tingana, there was a leopard female down north called Shilova. Beautiful leopard. Shilova was a leopard that I'm referring. Tingana killed Shilova, and Shilova was very old. It's one of the females that the day we have witnessed Tingana kill Shilova. Shilova was vocalizing and scent marking. I don't know what happened, because she was very old female, and Tingana came in, get the scent, they start to salivate and responded to a female, and we were all like hoping Tingana is gonna mate with this old female. When Tingana get into the space, he just kill the female, ease on that way, and take the female up in a tree. We know that Tingana have killed a few leopards around in the area, witnessed by lots of guides in the surrounding. And one of the things that I was thinking, because the female, she's very old, and the scent mark maybe confused the dominant male leopard, because she was no longer breeding by that time. Maybe I was thinking Tingana realized this female, she's old and she cannot able to breed. She's still in a space where it might be, if I take it out from the system, the young female will come into the area. It was very sad to see that, and later on, I've seen this is more common in general for a leopard to kill offspring of another leopard, of course, in the area. Tingana have killed one of lunar cubs. There was about 18 months, more than nearly 2 years. And one day I was driving, I was present myself. This female, she was also in trying to set mark around, and Tingana come across with this youngster, follow it and chase it, and manage to really kill it and take it up in a tree and feed with the leopard. And we were all like, it was very strange, but we understand and thinking maybe the old female Shilova, she was a very old, such a way that Tingana knows that he's not going to mate with that particular female. So it's time now for that female to move off on that particular area. And it's how actually most of the female in the area, if they disappear around here, for instance, we don't know what happened with Corolla. It might be another dominant male comes in the area, the time when of course, Hukumuri came to the area. We have seen some of the leopards disappear, and we didn't know what happened. So it might happen again if a new male comes in and find that the female, she's so old, in a sense where she cannot able to mate. That might happen, that a male will kill that particular female. It happens too. What I know with the lions, if a lion's born in the area like the sub-adult of Telemati, if they move off from the area and do happen that they come back in the same surrounding and find that the female or the mother is still alive and very old in the pride, they will kill all these old female or the mother, because they don't want to mate with with the mother again into the area. Lions do that quite a lot, but it's very seldom to find that happening in the area. They completely leave the area. Even a female getting old completely leave the area by competition, or get killed by other male in competition, or hyena or lions, because they're so old in a sense of they cannot able to hear what might be coming in the surrounding, like what we can observe or what we can see right now. Tandish is always lying down at the moment. If a hyena come behind or lion come behind, it's very easy to spot Tandy and maybe stalk Tandy and kill Tandy in the area. Is how actually most of the old female get killed, because all the time they might spend their time on the ground. We've seen Shidulu 3 days back is one of the leopard that always wants to go up in a tree, might be in a very high area in order to see the enemy coming. But once the leopard is very old, very lazy, they tend to be like ignoring everything and be on the ground. Charlie, if I understand, what characteristics of a male or female when they want to mate with a female?
Yeah, what makes a male favorable to be mated with? What
Yes,
characteristics? Yeah.
it's Charlie. Thanks for your questions. The female in nature or all species, you know that I'll face with this sentence: survival of the fittest out in the bush. If a male or female choose male to mate, it's not just something that they can look at the condition of the species and go with it. It has to be stronger, and it has to be a male that holds tree. It has to be a male that always really able to win the fight and push all the male out of the area where he might be operating with the females. That's called territorial. So the stronger male they are and able to hold tree is the male that the female will really like to mate. If you're not stronger enough, you're not holding tree, you're weak, you are young, you're not able to mate with the female, because how it works is not just because they will just look at them, smell, it's looking beautiful and so forth. There's a cold scent mark around in the area. A scent mark, it holds the status of individual. If a male goes around in the area, scent mark, if he fought another male and win, he'll announce that. And also from vocalization, he'll sounds like he is the one that win the total. He'll fight Deza off from that particular spot, and now he'll go and scent mark and tells the female that I'm the dominant male in the surrounding, and the female, when they get in that particular area, even if there's other male within that particular territory that walk across and able to scent mark, it will able to sense different that this one is a dominant male and this one just come as an intruder. So all the information from the scent dung and all that, it does carry the status of individual and the information who is the strongest male in the area in order to mate and father the youngster. So most cases the female will really like the male that is stronger and is the one that holds the true tree. Is how actually they can get mate. If you're not strong, you're not territorial, you're not going to mate. Survival of the fittest out in the bush, and that will be able to read the female. They have so-called Jacobson organ that they can read all this information. It's like you have your email and send all the information that I want to talk to you and communicate it via emails. It's exactly the same how females get to read the information on the ground. They can really read and get more details on the scent and able to know the status of individual and who is the territorial male in the area. If, for instance, let's take Nsambo. If take Nsambo in the area, female cannot mate with Nsambo because it's young. The information of the scientist also tells that. We'll be linking back to Tessa, which is really up in around Chita, trying to find Kuchava.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at WildEarth.tv.
So we have definitely got a surprise for you this morning. We have got some lions finally for a change. We've got a big male lion here, and it seems like the Nkuhuma pride is here in the background as well. So I will definitely be going over to them just now, but for now I do want to have a look at this male lion. He's definitely looking nice and relaxed, but he does look a little bit old. If you have a look at the back hips, he is looking a little bit thin. You can see how those bones are sticking out. So definitely looking a little bit old, this guy. His front legs are looking very strong. His shoulders are still very strong. But definitely not looking in the best overall condition. I think he is overheating a little bit. It is warming up very, very quickly, but at the same time, I think he has had a little bit of the carcass to eat. He's not as full as a normal big male lion would be if he'd had quite a bit of food. And it does sound like there is a carcass in this area. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it is here somewhere. Wonder what he's hearing. So I'm having a look to see if I can see any distinct scarring on his face or anything. I don't think I have met this male before. Not 100% sure, but it's definitely not dark mane. So I don't know if anyone knows who this male lion is. If you do, I'd be very grateful if you could let me know. We haven't seen much of the rest of his face, unfortunately, so the part that I can see, I can't see very many scars. I'm moving myself around a little bit here. Right there, he lifted his head a little bit. Okay, so it could be probably Mohawk or Blondie. I'm not sure which. I haven't actually seen them side by side. I would think, considering the color of his mane, possibly this is Mohawk and not Blondie. I'm not even sure if both of the males are here. Right, so he's definitely looking nice and relaxed. Anna, yes, it has been a while since we saw any tawny kitty cats, and absolutely it is a nice change to see a lion in typical lion fashion lying with his legs in the air. So if you do hear some noise in the background, I am keeping my radio on, so you might hear some chatter. But he definitely looks nice and relaxed. I am very surprised by the fact that there is a male lion here and he doesn't have a very full belly. So I'm wondering possibly what happened. I mean, the area that we're in, we're not very far from where Kuchava was last night. There's warthogs around and impalas and things like that in this area. There's also things like kudus and waterbuck, you know, some of the bigger things. But I wouldn't be surprised if the pride killed something slightly smaller, and so maybe they haven't all had quite enough to eat at this point. I'm not sure how many lions are here in total at the moment. All I can see for now is this one. But I am going to move around just now and have a look who is here from the rest of the pride, because I know we are the lionesses and sub-adults and there's quite a few dynamics going on. So I am going to get closer to the others just now and see who else might be here.
Welcome back from Tessa Live with the Alliance. Lucky Tessa. Kuhumas are back in Chitwa. We are still with the Tandi. As you can see, she raised the tail up, moving in the area to the south on the eastern side of the Molowati riverbed. We all try to follow, but she's moving in the area where it's possible for us. It's no-go area. It's very thick. We might lose her. While we still have the opportunity to see her, let's just try to stay behind and really see what she might up to. She look like she have killed something small and she's finished. now heading in the opposite direction where we have spotted a drag mark in a drainage line. So we'll be continuous. If we lose this leopard, of course, we'll be continuing searching for Kalamba in the area. We hope if we don't find the tracks of Kalamba, we might find the drag mark. Of course, like how we find Tand in the area, we're able to track and find the direction of the species itself. All the leopards during this time of the day, most especially if the does have youngster, they will be moving. According to my plan of the day, I want to see Kalamba. I'm very positive with that. We'll try my means or all means to check all this roadway network if we may see tracks of Kalamba and able to follow. At least we'll understand the direction of the Tandi where she's going. I believe, guys, where Tandi is going, we're not able to follow. About 15 meters, it will be a drainage line. She'll go into deep in the drainage line, headed south. We'll be linking back to Tessa with the Pride of Lions. It looked like very exciting to see them back again.
So this male line is still very, very relaxed, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move towards the rest of the pride very soon and just see who all is there and what is happening. For now though, it definitely seems like relaxation and cat naps are the theme of the morning. So it is very interesting to me how the size differs between this lion and dark mane. I feel like dark mane is a little bit bigger, and of the lions around this Djuma area, the only two males that I have actually met, other than this one now, is the X8 male and dark mane. So it's definitely interesting for me to be able to compare and actually see this male. But what I want to do, I'm going to leave him sleeping. I'm actually going to move in towards where the rest of the pride is and just see if I can, there's the other male, see if I can get us a view. It's a little bit bumpy, bear with me. Okay, so I'll stick with this view for now so that we can see what is going on. And it definitely looks like quite a few members of the pride are here. So we have got the other male here looking much, much, much fuller. Definitely had a lot more to eat than the other male, and in much better condition. You can see he's got meat on his bones, particularly along the back end there where his hips are. So this is definitely Blondie and Mohawk then. And we do know that they are the dominant males of the pride. And so it's not a surprise for us to see them here with the Nkuhuma pride. There are quite a few, it looks like, cubs here as well, which is very, very exciting. We've got quite a few lions in the brush up behind there. You can see them relaxing in the shade. X-Ranger, yes, definitely very, very sleepy kitty. But it does seem like the cubs are much more awake at this point. I'm going to see if I can get you a better view of the lionesses and the cubs. I know we are moving around a little bit, which we don't normally like to do. But there are so many views and it's such a thick area that I want to just have a closer look at what we've got here. Okay, go. Such a lovely pride. Okay, so it definitely looks like the lionesses are enjoying nap time. We've got 3 older lionesses here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubs it looks like. And they're still quite young. So I'm not sure when last everybody saw lion cubs, but I certainly am very, very excited to be here with them. And to see the Nkuhuma pride again. I've only seen them once before, so this is my second encounter with them. Oh, here comes one of the cubs. Actually going over to the male. Let's have a look. We've got a bit of an interaction happening here with the cub and the male. Wow, listen to those noises. So he is getting a little bit upset with that cub because the cub came straight over and started rubbing in his face while he was sleeping, and so he's actually just trying to give the cub a little bit of a lesson there. And so the cub is trying to act a bit nonchalant at the moment, but this is one of the very, very important parts of lion life, is discipline while they are still young from the male. Right, so they are definitely looking nice and relaxed. And listen to those sounds. Anna Marie, I'm so happy that this is your favorite pride of lions, and it is so wonderful to see them. The cubs have gotten quite big. It's actually my first time meeting these particular cubs. The last time I was with them, I only saw sub-adults. I did not see any little cubs, but I'd heard about them. I definitely heard about them. So this seems like the 3 lionesses that have broken away from the other lionesses that were with the 7 or 8 sub-adults. And so it's lovely to see that they're, kind of getting used to the vehicles and those kinds of things. Definitely getting used to, the male's coming over. Definitely getting used to being around the cars, and that's wonderful. Nope, flat. Josina, the cubs will know that both of these males are father figures. I don't think they would be able to tell which particular male is their father. I think it would be more of, big yawn, more of just respecting both of them as is. I mean, they might be able to smell. I know that, the males can definitely tell which cubs are theirs and which aren't when they encounter cubs, but that might not be because they can actually smell themselves in the cub. It might just be because they know the cubs from very young and they know which they recognize and which they don't. But, ideally they just want to... there are some sounds happening here. They just know not to mess with them when they get disciplined. Oh my goodness, everybody is just flopping down. So I can tell you it's heating up very, very quickly, and so I think these lions are going to be here for quite a while. I don't think they're going to be moving around much today, other than literally following the shade, and this is completely normal. So it does look very, very peaceful, but you can see for a pride like this, don't forget that these lionesses, some of them still look quite young. They've still got pink noses. You know, yes, they have some scarring and things, and you know, they've probably got experience with cubs from the pride. But the position that they're in at the moment, to try and paint this picture for you, we can see that they're in a bit of a thicket area. Just in front of them is a drainage line, which is a great chance to move. If they need to move very quickly, they've got somewhere to go. But with cubs this age, it is very, very dangerous for them to get too relaxed. And yes, this is their territory, but there is nothing stopping the S8 male or one of the other male lions from coming this far south and east. If they know there are cubs around, it's still dangerous. And yes, there are 2 male lions here, but that doesn't guarantee that nothing will happen to them. And so as much as they look relaxed, don't forget that they are still listening, they are still awake. And they have to be careful of where they are and what they're doing. I think I'm definitely going to spend a little bit more time with them. I don't think they're going to do much else, but it is definitely worth sitting with the can hear some fork-tailed drongos have just arrived and they are calling away over here. The lions don't seem too bothered by it, but the animals on the fork-tailed drongos. Oh, it's trying to nurse. That is incredible, that little cub is nursing. The lioness is looking very relaxed while that little one is nursing, but you can imagine it's got quite big teeth already. So it might get a little bit uncomfortable if it nurses too aggressively, and the lioness might kick it off. There you can hear her growling. That is a very, very special moment to see a cub nursing. One of the most special things about lions is that allo-suckling. The fact that, I wonder if that cub is going to follow her.
Welcome back again from Tessa with the Pride of Lions. and we are moving away from the area where we had Tandy. She had it in a very thick area. We haven't managed to stay with her. We're looking around in the area more or less where we believe it might be Kalamba in this area. Again, I really enjoy the game of trekking, because in most cases is how you might find animals around in the area. It's a very hot day. Most of the cats in these hours of the morning where it's so hot, they do lie down. They don't move quite a lot. That is will be a huge benefit if we find Kalamba's tracks and start to follow, because Kalamba should be not doing much at the moment. Lying down, it will make ourselves easy, because she will be wherever she might be headed. She might be waiting for us to join. It's difficult if a leopard move. If you track and it's moving ahead on you, it makes life not easy to find. But I believe if we find the tracks, general, all the cats lie down, not to move, we might be able to see easily Kalamba. We're almost in the area where Molowati yesterday have went. I believe that the movement of Molowati, it's also a part of protection of the youngster. You might move more or less very close where the youngster are, and we're just really on that block, circle around if we might get information that might lead us to find Kalamba. Again, we are heading towards Gari Dam. If not, we'll be spending our time a little bit more west of Gari Dam towards Mvubu Road, Befesuk sign, on those areas. If Kalamba, she's not this side, possible she might be on the kill, because tracks doesn't show much around in the area. Just getting the evidence, hyena look like they're all lying down waiting. This is one of the things that really helps a lot. Deza, you might help me with that. I didn't get it.
Male leopards, notice them.
Yes. Fred, nice question. Thank you so much and for a question. Yes, Fred, they do recognize their offspring, and that is how actually that's raising the lion and leopard are territorial, because they can really scent and know their direct offspring, and they cannot harm on them. You can see now and then if it happens that the leopard father cubs will be able to really goes in that area and protect the cubs from other males not to come and kill them. The reason behind that is just because the mother will match it with the female, and the male will be able to scent directly. Oh, look at this. The Kalamba looks like she's been here, moving to the north. And lots of hyena tracks. I got a tracks of a youngster here, going directly where we're going. I just wanna, the reason why the hyena were here waiting, it looked like a leopard moving straight to the north. We'll try to follow up. It's a little bit more confusing because it looked like more than 5 to 10 hyena were up and down in this area. But I can see if it will be difficult with the camera because the tiny little cub's tracks, they headed straight north with the mother's tracks. And now it makes sense why Molowati was in the area, was trying to really protect the youngster, of course, and be in the area of the cubs, and then the mother can be really more protective from other males. Lots of young males in the area who will be, yes, of course, linking back to Tessa with the lions that are around Chito Chita property.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at wildearth.tv.
So we have repositioned a little bit, and we are just admiring the paws of this big male lion as he has switched over onto his other side in the shade. I'm actually very, very impressed at how good he is looking. For a male lion, you know, he doesn't have many scars on his legs or his back. He's got quite a big mane, and he's definitely got a big body. So I think he is definitely the more dominant of these two males that we have here. And I'm sure, you know, if you look at it in this sense, he's got these 7 new cubs, but they have been with the Nkuhuma Pride for quite a while, these two males, and so it's understandable to me why the Nkuhuma Pride has been pushing into Talamati territory, why the Talamatis have been spending more time further north, because if you combine all of the Nkuhumas together, plus 2 males compared to the Talamati Pride, which is big, but with dark mane as the dominant male, you can see why they might be pushing on the territory a little bit more. It's been over 2 weeks since we saw lions, and at the moment we're actually not on Djuma, we are still on Chitwa. So we are in the heart of Nkuhuma territory at the moment. But they have been pushing further north into Djuma, and the Talamatis have been pushing further north out of Djuma. So it seems like the ranges are changing a bit at the moment. Looks like you might want to move a little bit there again, maybe just reposition. But you can see he has definitely had majority of the meal. Some of the lionesses were looking fairly thin, like they had not eaten much. And the same with the other male, he has not eaten much at all, but I think this one definitely has had the lion's share of the meal. And if you look very carefully in the background, you can actually see one of his cubs is nursing again.
Out of the bag.
So in between all of these Tambweti thickets, there's a whole lion pride that is going to spend the day relaxing. So I know that the 3 newest cubs of these 7 were only seen properly for the first time on around the 1st of August, thereabouts. And that's about 4 months ago. And so these cubs are definitely getting more adventurous, they're getting bolder. And it was around that time that they really started to explore a little bit. So it is nice to see that they have relaxed, they have started following the pride everywhere. Yeah, it definitely seems like everybody's trying to find a comfortable spot for the heat of the day. The first male that we saw, the one that is quite a lot thinner, he has not moved at all, he hasn't come closer, and I think that's quite intentional. Where I am at the moment, behind this big male is kind of my right hand side and the other male is my left hand side, so we're kind of in the middle, and I think that it is very intentional that this male is lying on this side of the pride in between his brother and the pride, because if he is more dominant, he is going to be more protective and not allow the other male as close. He's also on the main pathway into this little thicket. So he's put himself in the protective position And for him, he'll always be able to recognize his cubs throughout his life. Shasha, if dark mane came into the area, it would be probably a bit of a confrontation. Just excuse me while I start and move around again, so get another view of the family. If dark mane came into this territory, there would be a bit of a scuffle because there are two dominant males here and a pride with cubs, and those cubs are going to be vulnerable to dark mane. And so very likely these two males would be vocalizing and advertising that this territory is definitely taken. And dark mane would have to either decide, do I make a silly decision and try and fight, or do I leave? And the smartest decision would be to leave because it's 2 against 1, and dark mane is quite old now. He is getting older. Lions will not choose to fight unless they absolutely have to. They've got to choose risk versus reward here, the balancing scale of life out here in the bush. And it's very, very vital that he knows that there are lions here, and he will, because these two lions will vocalize, they'll scent mark. The pride itself will vocalize as well every now and then. And so it would be quite a silly decision for dark mane to come out this way and pick a fight. Dark mane actually has not been seen near to Juma in quite a while here. I believe he is very, very far west at the moment. And that makes sense because you can imagine he's got pressure from the Mbali male, the S8 male. He's got pressure from the Nkumu pride with with Blondie and Mohawk. And so for him, he's probably feeling quite pressurized because they all have friends and he is alone. He has the lionesses, absolutely. But if the lionesses, if it comes down to it, they will not stand in the way of these lions if they want to attack dark mane. They will protect themselves, they will protect their cubs, and they will stay out of the fight. The only time a lioness will get involved in a fight is if her cubs themselves are physically threatened. One of the other lionesses is. So it definitely seems to be nursing time. The other two younger cubs are also busy nursing at the moment on the furthest lioness. And they're in quite a strange position. I just want to show you this because it's quite entertaining. The one cub is on top of the other cub. Physically on top of it. Almost squashing it. So I'm definitely going to stick around for a bit. The weather looks like it's changing and the clouds are coming in. And I just want to see what else happens here this morning. Maybe they might move into the drainage line just now.
Welcome, coming back from live with the Kuhumangalas. Such a very, very interesting to see them back in the area. We were tracking leopard. Look like the hyena we're after this particular leopard that we're trying to follow up here. But what happens, we were driving the low river road called Twin Dams. There's tracks of hyena that comes from the south and tracks of hyena that comes from the north, and all of them gets into one point and lead to the east into the drainage line. That means something that leopard have killed in the area. So we'd like to investigate in that particular area. You might find that the leopard have lost the kill. You might find that the leopard really, of course, you have managed to take the kill up in the tree. If it's Kalamba, it will be a huge benefit for us in the morning. But I've seen a set of the youngster within the tracks of hyenas that look like Kalamba. She's been in the area. If she's still with the kill, we'll manage to see Kalamba. If not, it means she have lost the kill from the hyena itself. So we'll find out more or less when we get to the area. We'll think where exactly it happens according to the information. will be observing a lot up in the trees, looking for any sign of any different colors.
There's definitely quite a lot of complaining happening here this morning. It seems like the cubs are hungry, they're trying to nurse, and the lionesses just keep getting a bit frustrated with them. The one in particular, the thinner of the three lionesses, is starting to get a bit frustrated with them. So she keeps moving away from them. Seems like so far only one cub has gotten it right consistently, and it's this little one in the front. You can see this is definitely a lion's life, a little lion cub. Give me 1 second to respond on the radio. Go ahead. Copy. What an inopportune time to get a flat tire. Don't worry folks, it's not me. So the male is actually coming a little bit closer. I think he's actually just going to flop down on the other side. But for a little lion cub like this, imagine how important a lioness's milk is. You're living in an environment where it's very dangerous, it's hot, it can be very dry. And you've got to grow incredibly quickly as a lion cub. There's so much to learn, but at the same time, so many dangers. And yes, they are definitely eating meat, but they still need to substitute that with mother's milk for a while. And especially when they're very, very young, that milk has to be high enough in protein to build a super predator. It's not quite as rich as a hyena's milk, because hyenas spend a lot longer not moving around with the clan, so the first little part of their lives they're at the den site and they don't eat as much meat as you would think. Lion cubs will start tasting meat from 3 months or so, but to build a predator of this size, remember this is the biggest predator in Africa, it takes a lot of energy. These lionesses are almost constantly producing milk, and the 3 of them will allo-suckle. They'll let any of these 7 cubs suckle on them. Anyone can nurse. As long as it's for the greater good of the pride, they will look after each other's cubs. Very, very special bond. I do particularly love how this cub has now gone into a bit of an after feed sleep, lying on the mom's leg with its paw up. Tummy is full and feeling very relaxed because it's nice and warm. And now it's time for a little cub nap. James, we really have been spoiled this morning. I think, especially after having not seen lions for so long, it is actually almost quite a relief to see them again. It's nothing else is quite the same as a lion. And, seeing these particular lions as well, we are very, very lucky to be able to spend time with 7 very young cubs. Very, very young cubs. So these are some of the, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong here, so please do correct me if I am wrong, but these are ridge-nose's daughters who have had cubs, as far as I remember. I remember hearing that, and I haven't been fortunate enough to meet the entire Nkuhuma pride, I don't think. But as far as I know, these are ridge-nose's daughters that have had cubs. The pale-eyed lioness and the tattered ear lioness being two of them. They've kind of been hanging around much further south than the rest of the pride. They split quite a while ago, and the sub-adults have been off doing their own thing with some of the other lionesses. Oh, how beautiful is it here? Let's just listen for a little while, because it seems like the birds are actually starting to come up. Do lions kill each other for food? They certainly kill each other over food, that's for sure. I think if they were absolutely desperate, then yes, they might. But I don't think it would ever come to that, because there's other predators that they could kill. I think if it's lions from different prides, absolutely, they would be more inclined to go for each other. But I don't think it would ever get to that point. I think it's more likely that they'll go for anything else. And I don't think, it's a very good idea for a lion, no matter how experienced and how old. I don't think it's a good idea to pick a fight with other lions just for food. I guess if it was kind of, if you imagine an animal zombie apocalypse kind of world, then yes, maybe they might have to turn on each other. But there will usually always be more than enough food that there's something to go for, whether it's an impala or a kudu or warthog or a hyena, unfortunately, if need be, or even other cubs. But I mean, as we've seen it with history, with leopards and with lions, if they do kill each other for competition, whether it's just an interaction they've had or over food or another male's cubs, they don't often actually eat the cubs. Don't often actually eat the other animal. They just kill it and move off, and then things like hyenas and vultures end up eating it. It's a very interesting concept, though. I wonder at what point lions would be desperate enough to kill each other for food. I certainly don't think they would ever turn on each other in the pride, but if there was, for example, an older lion that did die from natural causes or starvation or whatever, I guess if they were desperate, they would eat it. Very interesting concept. Hopefully, though, that will never actually happen, and these cubs have a very long and healthy, happy life ahead of them. Oh, that being said, lions, time for nursing. I love how they place the paws on either side while they're suckling. Absolutely beautiful. Also bear in mind, as much as it looks like a very relaxed and easy life for a lion the way we're seeing it right now, don't forget that lions actually have a very, very tough life. For the first 2 years, they're incredibly vulnerable. So these little cubs, being only a few months old, they've got a long way to go. I don't know how many are males, how many are females, but they've got a pretty tough road. Very, very few lion cubs reach the age of 2 years old. There's just so many other factors out here: starvation, predation, competition, even diseases sometimes. Things like bovine tuberculosis, mange. It's definitely not an easy life. So these lionesses, and the males actually, to have gotten to the ages that they are is impressive in itself. They are the fittest of the fittest. And hopefully they pass those genes on to these little ones, and they have a decent chance this as well. It certainly looks like they've done very well. To get 7 cubs to this age already is brilliant. The cub almost looks like it's falling asleep while it's nursing. Irene, it is lovely to hear from you. You're asking about some of the bird calls in the background. The most constant one, that constant little call that you're hearing, is actually a crested barbet. They can keep going for 5 minutes without taking a break from making that call. So that's definitely the first one you're hearing. You can also hear some fork-tailed drongos. They are very good mimics of other birds as well, which is very, very cool to witness. I can hear some starlings too, Burchell starlings. I can hear a scrub robin. Black-headed oriole. There are so many calling, it's actually tough to pick which ones. Tawny-flanked prinia. I did hear a black-back puffback just now as well. We're just very lucky where we are at the moment. We're on the edge of the drainage line, and so there's quite a bit of shade and definitely enough trees. So the bird life here is quite fantastic. But I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer and watch how these cubs are nursing with their claws out. So while we watch these cubs, let's have a listen to all of the bird calls that are around us, because there are so many and it's such a beautiful sound. Let's just take it in for a little bit. You can see how relaxed Mom is at the moment. Nice deep heavy breathing, and those cubs I think are really enjoying the warm milk. And you can see how the paw is resting on the stomach. The claws have retracted now, but they might come out again just now. Oh, maybe. There you go. How beautiful. Very interesting to watch.
Welcome back from Tessa of the Pride of Lions. But we're still giving a little bit active, baby. Most of them lying down. We managed to get into the area where we have seen hyenas get into one area. We had the leading tracks out of that area moving straight to the west where we are, across Quarantine to the west, between Rebecca's and Quarantine. We'll be checking Zoe's Road on that surrounding and check further more south. As I'm speaking here, I can see vultures straight to the west. They're really circling around in that area. Maybe they might be coming off from dead animal and trying to move out of this space. You can see if it's really an animal that died in the area, they will come a little bit low. But at the moment, realizing that they are just circling and going higher as they go, they're trying to catch thermals up in the sky and know exactly what might be the dead animal, what could be the next meal for them around in the area. It's unbelievable how can these species can read thermals and able to locate kills easy on that way. I might be using the same skills of trackings of a leopard, the skills that we're using here to find exactly tracking thermals in the direction of the wind and jet straight to the kill. It's unbelievable. And all these eagles, vultures, so the eyesight is very good at all also. And they use quite a lot of different dead animals. All the thermals, they act like infrared. If an animal dies and the thermals able to rise to the sky, they can see from the air also blinking like infrared colors, and they can direct go in that particular area. As I was saying, they are going furthermore higher and higher, which means there's nothing that really dive very close in the area of Impala Plains. We'll continue going to check Zoe's Rebecca Road if there's any evidence of this particular male leopard that walks straight to east. It looked like he had made a kill in more to the south of the drainage line, Gary Dam, and the hyenas have responded in numbers. I wish maybe it might be Oshasha, one of the young leopards, of course, that might be in the surrounding. On Tambo is one of the young males. Of course, I've seen him once. I haven't seen him since from the day him and Kalamba on the Kudu kill, very close to Filimo's Catlan. Luckily, I joined the sighting and managed to see. Not very relaxed cat, a little bit nervous, and also he was charging vehicle on that area, which might be inherited from his father. Molowati is not that much relaxed with vehicle or good with vehicle at all. Just doing Zoe's, observing if there's any Shidulu tracks or any leopard might be moving in the area. You might find that the tracks are definitely not like Molowati. I don't know how Span tracks look like. I've said that before because it's one of the species that I only, or one of the leopards that I've seen once in my life. I haven't seen Tippy again since the day I bumped to him triple arm and he crossed to the west. Might be him, you will never know, coming down and extending his territory a little bit more further east, because the area where we are here is a dominant male to the west. I welcome your question. Would like to actually really go deeply with that question. Yes, a male leopard, a dominant male leopard, I've seen he defend himself from the one hyena. More than one hyena. Remember, the biting force of hyena is such huge. It's one of the most species out here. They have very incredible biting force, more than the male lions. So if two hyena come, a leopard will run away, but one hyena, a male leopard will stand, will defend itself easily. And the hyena knows that one and one, a leopard, a big dominant male leopard will win. You can see even as far as the young leopards like, of course, Ntembo or Shasha, it can stand against a single hyena if it do come. But once they comes in numbers, they know that is where the trouble is. You have to run away. Now, hyena is such a very strong species. When it comes to defending and fighting, you'll see even a 5 male or 5 female lions, it's easy to quit the kill just because of hyena. If they come more than 5 up to 10 hyena, they will drive them off. So are so strong and they can be able to fight. Yet there's no tracks here. If not so, it might be the leopards through in the drainage, and it's very hot day. For all cats we have seen, they will be lying down in most cases, but we're going to work in these roads and try to find more in these areas. We'll be linking back to Tessa with the beautiful pride of lions.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at WildEarth.tv.
So we have definitely got some very sleepy cats, just as Rexon said, in the heat. It is very, very hot, and so most of the cats are sleeping, but it seems the cubs are definitely awake. I think they've had a bit of a burst of energy. And so this one on the right is looking up at the blowing leaves. One is nursing. One is grooming the female. Seems like they definitely have quite a bit more energy. And I've had a look, and looking at the lionesses and the cubs, so we know the cubs were born around April. They were first kind of seen on Juma, that kind of area, in August. But the lionesses, it is Ridge-Nose's daughter, and then the pale-eyed lioness and tattered ear. And all the cubs were born very, very similar time, which is completely normal for lions to synchronize. Listen to the sounds of these two trying to compete over nursing there. How closely packed they are together. They are busy competing over space. They're both about the same size. It's not that there's a size advantage from one cub to the other here. You can see they're really trying to squash together. So in fact, both of these cubs that are nursing at the moment are two of the prettiest cubs to me in the little group. Susanna, yes, it is quite incredible that, amazing, both that a lioness will let any of the cubs suckle, and it's something that is not very common out here. It's definitely not very common. But I guess being the super predators, lions in general have had to all the way through their development and almost evolution, there have been trade-offs with how are they going to survive being so big and heavy. They're not as light and as small as a leopard that can camouflage more easily, move faster, climb trees easily. They're much bigger, much heavier. And so some of the compromises, if you can call them that, that came with being such a large cat is the only way to survive is working in a group. Because then you can protect each other, you can help each other hunt, you can feed each other. And then the other one is being able to feed any cubs in the pride. That makes a very big difference. Because if you do have some of the group out hunting, the cubs need to have somebody there that can feed them, no matter who it is. And so it's all these little balancing scales and acts that have worked their way through the evolution. Give me 1 second while I'm on the radio. If you're talking about the Ngalo with the Nkumas, there's 2 vehicles here. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
It's almost like you can't tell where one cub starts and another one ends. Diana, it is quite a beautiful place to rest. Tamboti thickets in general have always been extra beautiful because of the way they grow. They're normally on a bit of sandy soil, but they grow into a very thick forest-looking area. So it's perfect for leopards, lions, wild dogs. Really, really stunning. So what I do want to focus on is these 2 cubs that are nursing. They have much darker markings than the other cubs. I've been comparing them across all 7. And if you have a look at their legs and their tails specifically, you can see it a lot more when they stand up, but you can clearly see the spots on the coat. And all lion cubs are born with spots. They're all born looking a little bit like they've got leopard print on their bodies, and that's all part of camouflage. It's part of hiding while they're still very, very young. But these 2 are particularly dark compared to the other cubs. The other cubs, their markings are starting to fade as they do when they get older, but just not as clear markings on the legs and the tail. So I'm hoping that one of them gets up just now so that we can show you the inside of the leg. There's a very, very dark marking on the inside of the leg. But I think these 2 are so busy competing over nursing. I don't know if they're going to get up anytime soon. I would not be surprised if this lioness gets a bit frustrated with them just now, because the more they nurse, the more sore she is going to get. And the milk might start running out at some point. And then the cubs are going to start getting a bit feisty. They're going to start fighting and growling. And then she might say, enough is enough. No. So I'm hearing quite a few birds piping up again. Some of them I think have seen the lions and some haven't. But I'm going to stick around for a little bit longer and just see. Maybe we'll see the cubs moving around and playing a bit after nursing.
Welcome back to Tessa. We are now Filimo Scotland heading towards Treehouse. We are going to check more in the area of Treehouse, Shibama Road, furthermore to the west. Yet, no joy, tracks of a male leopard that we saw is not out. I might be thinking one of the young male, of course, might be moving in the area. It's not, good tracks started from last night, and we can see as it gets to those two quarantine cut a little bit more south into a drainage line. There's no tracks that comes out in both roads, Zoe's and Rebecca. We'll check Three House. Maybe we might be lucky with clove or elephants in the area. They like to move in this area quite a lot, and furthermore to the west we're gonna go in the area we think Shidulu might cross back into area. If not, where might be Shidulu get more active in the western boundary of our conservancy. Is that area very active when it comes to leopards? Of course, is the area where quite a lot of our animals cross to the west. Sometimes I'd like to drive Triple M Gary Main. In most cases, in a record of all our sightings here in Juma WildEarth Safari Live is where we get to see wild dogs. In most cases, our wild dogs cross from the western boundary into our area along those big roads called Triple M and Gary Main. We are at Three House Dam, yeah? Look like it might be quiet, but we cannot confirm that. Welcome back. We are live here at Juma Safari Live. We just arrived here at the dam called Three House. At the moment, there's not much information that can really lead us into something. This is one of the waterhole likes by the elephant. We are going to proceed head west. I think there might be more game in the surrounding of Gary Main Triple M. It's one of the area the most, I believe, we'll see quite a lot of animal crossing into our conservancy from the west. It's been a long time. Of course, some of the animal and some of the characters, leopards, of course lions, we haven't seen them crossing into our area. Dark mane, he's lonely most of the time. He likes to opposite the rest of the pride and move his own direction. We haven't seen his tracks, and we haven't seen even Kara, we haven't seen a tortoise pan. So it might be a time, right time. They know that if they stay away from those areas that where they normally scent mark, it might give a little bit of problem when it comes to other leopards. If they find out that the area doesn't have any male activities in the surrounding, they might start to move in and challenge maybe the dominant male. That you cannot guarantee. It can happen at any time. So we'll move on those areas due to the sightings that we haven't checked these animals. We might predicting it's the right time for us to go and work around that area. Maybe we might lead by informations that might be back in the area, especially Sandy Patch. I heard that early in the morning, the rest of the Talamati Pride, they are back into Bafasuk. They are now out on the cut line, Manyeleti boundary area called East-West cut line, which is not far from our boundaries, less than maybe I will say from our boundaries 800 meters to the north. So pretty much if they want to get up and move directly to the north, it's very easy for that pride or dark mane move in our surrounding. And we're checking southern of the Tree House Dam can't see much information. It might be still early in the daylight, or the elephant that migrate from the south coming into the area, they haven't yet in the area. It looks like lots of activity of an elephant. I believe with the migration of elephant, that now most of them getting in this area, coming a little bit more to the south in the surrounding. Remember, these animals, they travel due to water in the area. If there's more water, they will be in the area. If less water, they will come out from all this permanent river like Sand River, Savi River. They will start to move into the area like this in numbers because there's water everywhere. Of course, the grazing is also part of that. It's a healthy grass. All the trees are giving highly nutritious leaves, of course, because it's everything happy back to life after a little bit of heavy rain in the surrounding. I have to turn around, maybe going opposite direction. Let's check the fire break west as we're gonna go and join Triple M Impala Plains, that area, to check around if there's any activity of a leopard. Lovely, all the wishes and all the comments were really appreciated. We're gonna move to the space where we might find something as a change. We would like to see, this morning we're dedicated to follow Kalamba, but the look of the thing might be Kalamba on the kill, not moving. Of course, we'll be linking back to Tessa, still the beautiful pride Kuhumas.
I am very pleased to say that now that nursing is complete, it is grooming time. This little cub has not stopped moving its head around. I don't know what it is so interested in, but it seems to have a lot more energy than the rest of the cubs. And it's currently actually licking the other cub's paw. So it looks like pretty much the rest of the pride is flat sleeping, except for this cub and one other cub which is hiding behind the bushes, busy nursing on another lioness. But have a look at those eyes. Beautiful big eyes, very clear white on the bottom eyelid, and very thick dark eyeliner around the eyes. Oh, listen to the hippos. So this is a particularly beautiful lion cub. I think it has got quite large eyes compared to the other ones. And that'll serve it in good stead when it gets older and has to start hunting. That eyesight is, possibly going to be the difference between life and death at some point. But for a little one like this, it just means it can see more to play with. At this age, the cubs are around 7 to 8 months, somewhere there now. I'd say closer to 8 months. At this age, everything is a learning opportunity. Oh, bathroom time. So it's always something I've found fascinating about lions. They don't really go away from the pride to go to the bathroom once they've just woken up from a nap or a lie down. They'll kind of go over to a similar spot, that's exactly where one of the others has just urinated, and typical lie down in her own urine. His or her. I'm actually not sure if that's a male or a female. Very typical, it's not like leopards that are very, very clean cats. Lions tend to lie in their own urine a lot, and they tend to urinate very close to each other's faces when they're sleeping. It's always fascinated me. And it's not quite the same. Lion urine doesn't smell like popcorn like leopard urine does. It's not like when a lion scent marks that it smells delightful when it's finished. Lions usually smell like fish, very, very strong fish, because of all of the meat in their diet. Their kidneys are working overtime to break down the protein and things like that. So it's always fascinated me that they don't mind that they are lying in urine. But they're not nearly as clean as the leopards, I suppose. They don't mind it as much. Also, I think hunting at a pride, they have the advantage of, yes, they have to hide and they can't be very smelly, but they have the power behind them, as opposed to a leopard that can only rely on itself. It can't rely on anyone else. And so leopards are particularly clean and very precise about how they look. Now this little cub is officially the only one that is awake now. The rest are flat sleeping on their sides, and I don't blame them. It's probably up to... Oh, the male's just woken up. He's hiding at the back. I don't know if you saw the movement through the tamboti tree trunks. But it's probably close to 25, 26 degrees Celsius at the moment. Very, very hot for 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. The life of a lion is majority sleeping, isn't it? Benny Lulu, yes, the cubs absolutely are gorgeous. I think especially there's two that we're nursing earlier that to me have very, very striking markings. But this little one that's up and awake, to me, has the most beautiful face. I think because of the nature of the way a lion's face is designed, if you look at it, they've got quite a long snout, they've got big forward-facing eyes and big ears. And this cub, for whatever reason, just genetics I guess, the genetic jackpot, this lion cub has very large eyes that are very accentuated with the white underneath and the black on top. Reminds me of Kachava last night. Beautiful fluffy ear tufts. And so that cub just happens to be, to me, the prettiest in look of the face. I'm not sure what the lioness has heard, but you can see she's lifted her head behind that branch. And she's definitely scanning with her ears. She's sniffing into the wind there as well. The breeze has picked up beautifully, which I'm sure the lions are very grateful for. In the shade with the breeze, it really helps to keep them cool. They won't have to flip so much from one side of their body to the other. But she's definitely picking something up in the breeze. We are very close to Chitwa Dam at the moment. We're just south of the dam, so maybe something has gone towards the dam and it's channeling that scent down the drainage line next to us. You can really see that cub's face now. It's looking up at the moment. I'll show you those beautiful, beautiful eyes. Look at that accentuated white underneath the eye. So I think this cub has actually got quite the advantage. And it's not that the others don't. They all have the white under the eye. But this one might have an extra advantage when hunting at night. I'm not sure if you know what the purpose is of the coloration around leopards and lions' eyes. The black immediately around the eye is actually more the color of the skin, but it definitely aids with hunting. That little, almost looks like a half teardrop coming down from the inside of the eye towards the bridge of the nose and out on the sides. That helps absorb any of the glare if they're out and about hunting during the day or trying to avoid predators. And that beautiful white you can see at the bottom, the much, much lighter section. And that's why I say this cub might have the advantage, because that white under the eye is quite a bit thicker than on some of the other cubs. This helps them hunting at night. It helps to reflect any moonlight, any remaining light that there is at night into the eye, so that they can see more clearly. So that might be a massive advantage for that particular cub. But I think it also makes it more beautiful, which really, really helps. Just in terms of, makes us really relate to it a lot more. But you can see these lines are not going anywhere. They are very, very, very relaxed at this point, and I think for now they're going to be here the rest of today until it cools down a little bit later. Okay, so while we watch the pride relaxing, that cub has just gone down for a nap. It's about time it lost some of its energy. The rest of them were probably thinking this one has too much energy. I think let's watch them for a little bit and just listen to the birds around us and the wind through the leaves. You can really hear how the wind has just started picking up now, turning into more of a gusty wind. I wonder what they're smelling on the wind. A few of them have picked up their heads now. What a good stretch. So it just goes to show, all around this lion pride, there are still birds. I could hear some dwarf mongooses earlier. You can see dung beetles. There's so much life happening all around these lions. It's not just the lions that are here. There is so much to see and hear all around here. And just so special to be able to be sitting with them and to be able to spend so much time with them this morning after not seeing them for a while.
Welcome back live with the Pride of Lions. We managed to find the tracks finally. It looked like a male leopard cannot really predict at the moment. It looked like the same tracks that we find Quarantine, Low River Road, Twin Dams. Is now cutting across Zoe and up to Mendoza and headed Triple M area. We are going the area more or less is cutting into my right. right, and we are driving here hoping maybe we might see exactly who's this leopard. I'm not sure whether it could be TP, it could be one of the young males around the area of our conservancy. I cannot tell, but the tracks now look like really good tracks to follow, or really good tracks in order to come here and check if it's not gonna come out in this minute. Very good looking tracks, of course, and very promising. Maybe we might be late about 5-10 minutes. I don't know. Maybe he's still in the area, but more or less he's gonna come out between the pole and the next pole. So we came in here and looking. We're not gonna be really driving fast in the area. We'll try to observe. We'll try to check as much as we can, and the wind is starting to pick. Any movement around in the area, we would like to go and really investigate. Stay with us. We're gonna investigate the area. We'll be linking back to Tessa. Maybe we might be lucky.
So I have left the Pride. They are looking very relaxed for the day. I'm just driving on the dam wall past Chitwa Dam just to check if there are any other animals around. Excuse me. I was really hoping for some elephants in the heat, but the wind has all of a sudden picked up so much. I'm sure you can hear it. I'm struggling to keep my hat on. I'm sure all of the animals are quickly just trying to find a little bit of shelter and are a little bit more alert than they were 20 minutes ago. Things like leopards are going to be using this wind, so they have to make sure that they're not unfortunately somewhere in the middle when a leopard decides to go hunting. We're definitely building up some cloud cover as well, so I know we are expecting some more rain now before the end of the year. We've only got a few days left, but it's supposed to be fairly cold and overcast the entirety of the rest of the year. So these warm days we're taking advantage while we have them. Animals know it as well. The animals can tell that there's a storm coming or that there is rain coming. And so they all take advantage of weather like this. They come down to the dams. Leopard, tortoise! In the road, this tells me there is definitely rain coming. When you see a leopard, tortoise or a terrapin in the road, there is rain coming. Oh, it's going into the bushes. There it is. Moving off. Well, we might see it on the other side of the tuft. Yes, there it comes. You can just see the movement through the grass there. This is actually, it looks small, but it's actually quite a large leopard tortoise. I would think it might be an older male actually of this size, and moving around on the roads is probably the most common way that we see a leopard tortoise. Oh, fish eagle. So many things. But definitely one of the most common places we see a leopard tortoise is crossing the road like that. This one is now quite shy. But essentially what happens, I'll explain it while I carry on. Essentially what happens is before the rain, the animals can tell, the birds know they start coming down to look for insects. The insects know they start flying very low and moving with them to go to get out of the rain. And from there it's just a knock-on effect. Things like tortoises and terrapins use this little bit of time before rain comes to start moving to areas where they can either collect water or find new water. So the terrapin moving to somewhere where they can find somewhere where they can drink water quite safely, and possibly moving out of a waterlogged area. So a tortoise doesn't really want to be stuck somewhere low-lying if there's a heavy rain coming, because its shell will flood. So it would be safer out of the water. And so you'll always find, before the rains, you'll find a lot of leopard tortoises moving across the roads, quite a few terrapins as well. And then, other things like the birds flying very low, picking up the insects that are anticipating the storm. All the cats moving, the wild dogs also being more active. Things like impalas and zebras actually becoming more shy and kind of hunkering down a little bit. It's amazing how much the animal behavior can change when it comes to that. And they're very good indicators for us, because sometimes weather reports aren't so reliable. Sometimes they're spot on, sometimes they're not so reliable, and that's okay. But the animals can usually tell us when something is coming. So I'm actually just about to cross out of Chitwa back onto our boundary. And I'm just giving it a quick scan to see if there's anything in the road. I think that was quite a successful morning at Chitwa. All the different things that we saw. It's always one of those things. I love going to visit the dams, especially early in the mornings, late afternoons, to see what's happening and where we're going. And that's exactly what I'm actually going to do now. I'm going to head back towards the dam and then start heading towards quarantine. So we are taking a slow drive up the boundary. I'm looking for pretty much anything, but also what has kind of helped us as the morning goes on. Lots of cars are driven on this road, and so if there are tracks, they'll be on top of vehicle tracks. They'll be quite fresh. I do want to let them know that I have left Chitwa. WildEarth vehicle has left Chitwa. Know that I am back. So I'm approaching a drainage line. I'm just going to slow down a little bit and just look extra carefully. Don't want to miss anything, especially in this area. I know that this is where Rexon has been working in the morning, and where we had Shasha yesterday. Tandy and the Reeves have been around. In the drain, the herd. Definitely looking a little bit, it needs to be done, and sticking together quite nicely to make sure that none of them is vulnerable. Here are a lot of insects now in the heat, and quite a few birds. This is quite a stunning area to sit during the day, actually.
Tessa from Tessa with the Lion Pride, and moving slightly west live with the beautiful Kuhuma Pride. Back to myself, we're still looking around here in the area of the western sector, and I believe we just missed the leopard about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We have really the evidence of the tracks on Gary Main Triple M cross over into the west. So hopefully maybe in the afternoon we might really see something or follow up again with Kalamba. Would like to really find the cubs. It's really exciting, of course, to see them again, and I would really also love seeing cubs in the daily drives with you here. So I would like to thanks for everyone that joined us for the morning. Of course, it was a lovely ride, and thanks for all questioning comments. It was really beautiful to have you, and we'll promise we'll be live again, and also promising to follow up on Kalamba or get more information about Kalamba, what might be with the other guides around in the area. We all want to see Kalamba. I believe she might be by now on the kill somewhere. If any guides around in the area able to find the tracks, will be managed to share the information. We'll see how it works, and I believe it will be much more successful for the afternoon. Once more here, I can see like something being here. Lots of look like banded mangoes. They were more active around here. It's quite a lot of termite mount here. They might be moving from one termite mount to another, seeking for all these flying ants and lots more species, of course. The banded mongols in the area, you know that they're all social species. The same family with dwarf mongols. The species that hunt quite a lot. It's in the area, you know that they're all social species. The same family with dwarf mongols. There are species that hunt quite a lot. Snakes, because they work in unity. Very social. I've seen them hunting a paw feather in front of my vehicle. Such amazing to witness that. I hope maybe the last hour of my show to find the drag mark of Kalamba. It will be nice to start from the afternoon. Thank you so much joining us here live on Safari Live. From myself, Deza behind the camera, and I hope also Tessa and Mupo will enjoy quite a lot your comments and your question. Goodbye, see you in the afternoon.
Join me after the Sunset Safari on the 22nd of December, where I'll be explaining all about our new conservation NFT project. You'll be able to ask questions, and I'll be able to set out the whole plan of what we're trying to do. This will be the opening of our pre-sale window. Don't miss it. It's only for registered users at wildearth.tv.